In Our Backyard, an original musical drama of love, lies and land rights set in Western Australia. Written by Christopher Harlow, music composed by James Perkins, produced by Helen Perkins, edited by Deb Harlow.
It has been a hot day, a very hot day, but the sun is finally sinking below the horizon, taking with it the stifling heat of the day. Shane is sitting in the shade of a tree, listening to his Mandurah Murray friends yarning to each other. Shane knows that Noongar people are very good at yarning. He has spent many an hour listening to their stories since he lost his job over a year ago. Shane is a slightly built man with gangly arms and legs. He looks at his skinny arms with disgust. He has worked so hard at the gym to develop bulging biceps like the other guys. Another failure. Shane looks across to his Aboriginal friends. They are good people, he thinks. They are Bendigo Bank from Pinjarra and Mandurah. Even though he is a white man, they had taken him in as one of their family when his chips were down. He knew this is mainly because of his sister Rachel. Rachel is a strong advocate for Aboriginal recognition and is well regarded by his Noongar friends. He wishes he were more like his sister Rachel. She is the brains of the family and had actually gone to university. She now has a good job working with one of the elders, Auntie Mary, documenting all the bush tucker and medicine plants before they get lost through urban development. Mandurah Noongar people have a continuing life commitment and cultural responsibility to the preservation of the Peel Harvey estuary and its international commitments. Shane is very fond of his sister. She often gives him a few dollars when he is broke. But, thinks Shane, she can sometimes be bossy and a bit of a big mouth when she gets on her high horse, usually over injustices, especially to Aboriginal people. A sudden breeze comes in. The Fremantle doctor has arrived at last. Thank goodness, thinks Shane, as he wipes the sweat off his face with the back of his hand. The breeze chases some dead leaves towards his sister, and Shane notices, to her surprise, that Rachel is sitting apart from the group, looking very unhappy. He thinks this is particularly strange because Rachel is usually the centre of attention, especially at storytelling time. She always has a funny account of something that has happened to her during the day which makes them all laugh.
What's up, Rach? You look sad.
Hi, Shane. I'm not sad, I'm angry.
What about?
You must have heard about the proposal to build a dump for radioactive material. They're going to choose somewhere near us in WA. First they steal the land and now they want to destroy it. We must find a way to stop them.
Uncle Joe and Auntie Mary, sensing an argument brewing, get up and join Shane and Rachel.
But what can we do? They never listen to us. We're not even recognised in their constitution.
Yes, I know. It's not right. But somehow we have to find a way.
People are sad, people are lost, dollars for some, oh what a cost. Country will suffer. Bush will be ill, land of your fathers, silent and still. Some will make money, only a few. Lives are in danger. What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? run empty, once flowing streams full of dead fish, toxic bad dreams. Babies are crying in mother's arms, soft gentle singing replaced by alarms, songlines and stories, their ancient lore, written in blood just as before, written in blood just as before, just as before.
We have to beat them in their own way. We have to go to their parliament.
That's a great idea, Rach. What do you think?
Yeah, Rach, we'll all go. We can't have them white fellas destroying our country.
They're holding a meeting next week in Parliament to decide whether or not this proposal to dump radioactive waste in our backyard should go ahead. What do you all think? Shall we go?
That's a great idea.
Next week's meeting?
Yeah, let's all go.
Yeah, let's all go to see if we can stop them.
The Western Australian Parliament is sitting to discuss the possibility of establishing a radioactive waste storage facility somewhere in WA. The atmosphere is tense, with members shouting at once across the aisle.
Order, order.
It's impossible. Shouldn't be allowed.
Think of the finances. What about the people?
Load of rubbish.
That's bullshit.
What a mess, Rag.
Think of the finances. What about
Order, order. The Minister for the Environment, Mr Norman Watts, has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. At the risk of stating the obvious...
Ha! The Minister for the Environment is very good at stating the obvious.
Order, order.
Yes, Mr Speaker. It's unfortunate that in this learned assembly I do have to state the obvious.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Isn't he clever?
Mr Speaker, Australia is a very large country.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Isn't he clever?
Order, order. May I remind members present of the seriousness of the topic under discussion today. The Minister for the Environment has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And there are many quiet, desolate places so remote and difficult to reach, but easy to guard safely.
Nonsense.
Could be fires.
Earthquakes.
floods? What about the
Don't
risks?
forget my health.
And what about the future of our grandchildren?
What about the
Order,
environment?
order. Members and the public are reminded that they may not interrupt parliamentary proceedings or they will be removed. The Minister for the Environment has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. As I have already stated, this waste is extremely dangerous and needs to be locked away to protect the public and the environment from harmful radiation. This scheme also offers a very rewarding financial opportunity for the state and for the people living in these remote areas.
Yeah, whilst you live safely in your leafy green suburbs.
Order. The member has been warned. The member for Mandurah has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Can the Minister for the Environment tell us how this very dangerous material is to be stored and secured? And how long does it have to be stored before it ceases to be radioactive?
A vast amount of research has been done over the years since this proposal was first suggested. The radioactive material will be initially stored above ground for a minimum period of time, pending the completion of the secured facility, before being buried in concrete capsules at a minimum depth of 10 metres underground.
Stored above
That's
ground?
ridiculous.
Completely stupid. It's unbelievable.
We've got to stop it.
Not on.
That's dangerous.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Regarding your second question, I can tell you that the length of time varies. Some materials have a half-life of a few years, while others remain dangerous to life for thousands of years. Australia is seen as a country where safe and long-time storage facilities can be accommodated. In addition, this facility will bring much needed income and create many jobs for the local community. In any case, we shall soon have to find alternative sites for our own radioactive waste.
What about the risk?
It's too dangerous.
Not here in WA.
Go somewhere else.
It's too risky.
Get away! Mr. Speaker, can the Minister tell us if it is true that the research that led to this proposal was largely conducted by a company called Pantopia Industries? This company is involved in the development of international nuclear waste facilities, and they stand to gain most from these operations if selected.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member for Mandurah for making that very point. We have examined many proposal sites in South Australia and Western Australia, and now have states putting up their hand to accommodate this waste. These people recognise the value to the community, and it's high time the members here in WA did the same. Our proposal plan was to allow careful monitoring of the material whilst earning billions of dollars for Western Australia. This will also allow further development of technologies for storing dangerous waste and will make Australia a leader in waste storage. Pantopia Industries is just one of many companies tendering for this lucrative contract. It's important to note that Pantopia Industries does have extensive international experience and an excellent safety record in this area.
Yes, while making Australia the world's garbage can.
What about the risks? Polluting our country.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
It's too dangerous.
It is true that our finest brains and people with the most experience in this field have assisted the government in the development of this proposal.
It's a shame!
Order. I remind the members of the public that if they do not desist in interrupting parliamentary proceedings, they will be ejected. The member for Mandurah has the call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So if I may summarise, countries throughout the world will pay billions of dollars to Australia for us to store their radioactive waste, the most dangerous material on the planet. Are you really saying that this dangerous material will arrive here by boat, plane, or over land and could be subject to piracy, storms, earthquakes, hurricane, acts of terrorism, etc.? Are you also saying that if any of this hazardous material does arrive, it will remain dangerous for thousands of years, and that this material will be stored above ground, subject to the extreme weather conditions regularly experienced in Australia? I put it to the House that what the Minister proposes is morally indefensible and totally unacceptable. I repeat, this is morally indefensible, and I strongly suggest the Minister resigns.
You should resign.
Immediately.
It's morally indefensible.
It's totally unacceptable.
It's a disgrace.
Order. I declare that there has been sufficient discussion and the proposal will now be put to the vote. Ring the bells.
We don't want your rubbish. Waste dump should be barred. We don't want your rubbish. Not in our backyard. We don't want your rubbish. Keep our country clean. We don't want your rubbish. It really is obscene.
Order. The public gallery is warned for the last time. Those in favour of allowing a radioactive waste facility to be established in WA, say aye.
Aye.
Those to the contrary, say no.
No.
The ayes have it. A facility for radioactive waste will be established at a venue in Western Australia yet to be determined, and a contract for the construction and management of the facility will be offered for tender. A commission under the chairmanship of the Minister for the Environment, Mr Norman Watts, will be set up immediately to decide which company is best suited to carry out the project. That concludes today's business. Parliament is now adjourned.
The members get up to leave the chamber, talking and grumbling. In the corridor outside the chamber, Norm is stopped by Alex Hunter, CEO of Pantopia Industries. Alex is a self-made, self-opinionated man wearing a very loud check suit that stretches tightly over his protruding stomach. He is carrying a bulging Audi bag.
Good evening, Minister. I just wanted to say how pleased I am that this decision has been made and that you will be chairing the Commission. I am Alex Hunter, the CEO of Pantopia Industries, and we will be tendering a very competitive price for the project. I'm sure the Minister will make a very sensible and safe decision, if you know what I mean.
Good evening, Alex. Thanks for your comments. No doubt you're pleased with the outcome of today's debate.
Oh, I'm delighted. Well done, Minister. You were terrific. I know that as a company with vast experience and high safety standards in this field, you will consider the tender from my company, Pantopia Industries, very favourably. But just in case, here's a little something to cover your, expenses.
Alex hands the Minister the shopping bag. Norm looks inside the bag and discovers bundles of money.
What's this? Oh, I couldn't.
Oh, but I insist, Minister.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
But I insist. You deserve every cent.
Well, OK then.
Well, I must be off. I have a board meeting to discuss the strategies of how best to sell our plan to the Commission and the local communities. I'm anticipating some resistance from the community. I hear there's an environmental activist in town called Rachel McKay, as well as a group of greenies.
Norm opens the package and rifles excitedly through the money.
I'm a liberal man and a classic Rhodes Scholar. If you want me on side, just show me your dollar. I'm a little bit left and a tad to the right. I'm occasionally wrong, but I'm usually right.
1,000, 2,000, ooh.
I don't want a battle, but I don't mind a fight. You can put me out front, and I'll give them a fright. I'm a bit of a scoundrel, according to some. I'm open to offers, just consider it done.
3,000, 4,000, ooh.
They say that I'm prudent and mentally sound, but morally bankrupt, right down to the ground. Just tell me your problem, or seek my advice. You'll never regret it, it's such a good price.
5,000? Wow!
I'm always a winner, whatever the scene. A true Aussie battler in yellow and green. I'm a liberal man and a classic Rhodes Scholar. If you want me on side, just show me your dollar.
Norm excitedly leaves the Parliament, humming to himself.
We all love Pantopia, they are number one. We all thank Pantopia, we'll be having fun.
Alex Hunter, Pantopia's CEO, is sitting at his desk in the office of Pantopia Industries. He is working on his computer. Sue Lynn, his elegant personal assistant, is writing up Pantopia's plan of action on the whiteboard. Tony, Pantopia's project manager, is a smartly dressed man in his mid-20s who is very eager to please people, especially his boss, Alex. He is reading a newspaper and excitedly points to an article.
Well done, Alex. Look, it's all in the paper. I don't know how you got the government to change its mind on allowing a waste facility to be established in Western Australia, especially given that they've been opposed to the idea for so many years. You are a bloody marvel.
Yes, he's absolutely fantastic, and so is Pantopia. It's the best company to work for.
Sue Lynn turns to Tony and gives him a high five that turns into a dance and a laugh.
We all love Pantopia. We are number one. We all thank Pantopia. We'll be having fun.
Okay, that's enough of that. It's now really up to Norm, the Minister for Naturally Occurring Radioactive Material.
What?
Norm, our Minister for Naturally Occurring Radioactive Material. NORM. Naturally Occurring Radioactive Material. Get it?
Yes, we get it. That's amazing. But why do we have to rely on him?
Secret strategies. Anyway, we must now really focus on gaining the contract to build and manage this waste facility. For a successful operation, we need to ensure that the local communities are with us.
But how do we do that?
Sue Lynn, Tony and Alex try to think of a plan to win over the community. Alex is the first to come up with the solution.
Pay a handsome price, we've raised our offer twice. The contract's there for us to win, just take our good advice. Now nuclear power is in, so let the fun begin. 'Cause we all stand to make a pile, we simply have to win. We have a cunning plan, we bribe an inside man. The time has come for us to strike to end this waste dump ban.
These greenies drive you mad, but Rachel's not so bad. I sometimes wish that Alex too would not be such a cad.
That Rachel's just a bitch, our plan she hopes to ditch. She tells them that this stuff is bad when we could make them rich. Now nuclear power is in, that's why we wear a grin. 'Cause we'll all stand to make a pile, we simply have to win. Simply have to win.
Okay, but I still don't get what we do.
Oh, don't be an idiot, Tony. We have to convince these people to support us. It's in their best interest. Just listen to Sue Lynn.
So what do we do to please everyone? Just bribe them with money or show them a gun. We appeal to the people who live on this land. We want to work with them in one happy band.
If you wanna make money, you gotta be strong. There's no room for weakness, it's morally wrong. Realistic and truthful, my father's last word. Beware the idealist, he's often absurd. Realistic and truthful, my father's last word. Beware the idealist, he's often absurd.
But I'm not sure.
This contract's a big one and makes us big bucks. But your opposition, to my mind it sucks. So now we are asking, just show us some trust. Without your agreement, our plan will go bust. We're ready for battle, a brawl or a fight. As long as there's profit, then all will be right. It's money that matters, it's progress and wealth. Without these two basics, we'll sit on the shelf. It's money that matters, it's progress and wealth. Without these two basics, we'll sit on the shelf. If you wanna make money, you gotta be strong. There's no room for weakness, it's morally wrong. Realistic and truthful, my father's last word. Beware the often absurd, realistic and truthful, my father's last word. Yet where the idealist is often absurd.
Oh, look. Our main opposition will come from that girl Rachel McKay with her environmental and land rights obsessions, and her brother Shane. They just don't know what's good for them or the community. Think of the job opportunities we will be able to offer, and the extra cash we can put in their pockets. This will benefit everyone.
Yes, that's right. I think we must be careful with the details we give out so as to not alarm the community. There are dangers too, which Rachel and Shane will emphasise. They'll probably ask about spillage accidents, damage to the water table, and what about protection from terrorist attacks? We can't hide these dangers, but we can minimise them in the community's minds.
Yes, that goes without saying. So, we must try to cultivate a relationship and develop trust between us and the community. Okay, so Tony, you work on Rachel, and I'll use my charms on Shane.
Poor guy. He won't know what hit him.
Yeah, whatever works, but always bear in mind our main objective. Making money for ourselves. Oh, and the shareholders. We are meeting up with some of the community in about an hour's time. This will give you both a chance to chat up the locals, in particular Rachel and Shane. Maybe you can invite them out for a drink or to dinner and start educating them on the benefits of this project. Shane could do with a job, and Rachel might like to hear about some of the advantages that stem from this work. Just put it all on your expense account. Come on, let's get down to business. We're already late for the meeting with the locals.
Sue Lynn and Alex gather the paperwork ready for the meeting, but Tony is clearly unsettled by their attitude. As Sue Lynn and Alex leave the office, Alex calls over his shoulder.
Don't be late for this meeting, Tony. It's in the hotel bar and starts at 4 o'clock. It's important that we show a united front.
Okay, no worries. Look, I'll be there on time.
Alex and Sue Lynn leave the office, leaving Tony on his own to think about how he can convince the local community that the project is harmless and will not be a risk to people's health or the environment. Tony leaves the office and hurries after Alex and Sue Lynn. Alex, Sue Lynn and Tony arrive at the local pub, where they plan to hold an information session. They are met by Norman Watts, the Minister for the Environment. Shane and Rachel are sitting at a table with Auntie Mary and Uncle Joe. Alex stands at the bar and tries to attract everyone's attention.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alex Hunter, CEO of Pentopia Industries.
We don't want your rubbish.
Waste dump should be barred.
We don't want your rubbish, not in our backyard.
If you would just listen for a moment, I can explain.
No, you listen. Shall we tell him how we feel?
Yes,
let's tell him.
Not in our backyard. No, not in our backyard. Not a lot, no, not a drop. Just not in our backyard.
Not in our backyard. No, not in our backyard. Ideas you've got may cost a lot, but not in our backyard.
Not in our backyard.
No, not in our backyard. It's not a plot, it's not the spot, so not in our backyard. Not in our backyard. No, not in our backyard.
Two women customers link arms with Alex.
Put me down. Oh, that's enough. Leave me alone.
The two women pretend to adjust Alex's jacket that has become a little adrift during the dancing.
Stop it. Leave me alone. Ooh.
OK, guys, that's enough. Leave the poor man alone now. We've had our fun.
Shane walks over to Alex, Tony and Sue Lynn. Rachel gets up from her table and joins her brother.
Hi guys, I'm Shane and this is my sister Rachel. I'm sorry the meeting is a bit noisy. I will try to quieten them down.
Sorry? Why sorry? People were just giving voice to what many of us are thinking.
Yes, I know, I agree. But I had hoped they would wait until we know more details about what Pantopia Industries is planning to do.
Maybe too late by then. OK, let's see what Alex has to say.
Shane, can you get everyone settled so that Alex can give you some details?
I'll try. Guys, a bit of shush. Shush. Listen to Pantopia's CEO, Alex Hunter. Our community elders, Uncle Joe and Auntie Mary, are here too. Let's show everyone a bit of respect. Please, give them a chance to tell you what's going on. You will then have the opportunity to ask questions quiet. Settle down now.
Well, thanks, everyone. In fact, I have just had some good news from Perth. The Special Commission has decided in our favour. Pantopia has been awarded the contract to build and manage a storage facility for radioactive waste material in Western Australia. Whilst I can hear that some of you are disappointed with this decision, this community will receive huge benefits in terms of extra cash in your pockets, and there will be many jobs as this important industry gets going. We are here to assure you that we only have your best interests at heart. Now, people have been asking me about the levels of radiation that may be emitted by this material. Let me assure you again that these radiation levels will be negligible. In any case, there is naturally occurring radiation material around us all the time. We call it Norm.
Alex puts his arm around the shoulders of Norman Watts.
In fact, when you eat a banana, you will be consuming more radiation than can be measured coming from this waste.
Don't talk rubbish.
I don't believe that.
Can't be true.
I wonder if I may ask a few questions over the transporting process.
Look, I am very sorry, but we are running late and I have to attend another meeting. Perhaps you could email your questions to Sue Lynn or Tony.
Alex hastily exits the bar, followed by Norman Watts. The crowd voice their disapproval of Alex's lack of response to their concerns.
He's doing a runner.
Oh, well, he's just scared.
He won't tell us the truth.
He's hiding something.
Hi, it's Rachel, isn't it? I'm Tony, Pantopia's project manager. It's good to meet you at last, Rachel. Did Alex put your mind at rest over the project?
Well, not entirely. Really, not at all. He ran away just when we were about to get started on our questions. He's very persuasive, but there are some questions I want to ask you regarding the longer-term problems with storage. You know, with earthquakes, bushfires, floods, as just some examples of my concerns.
Looks like you have a bunch of unanswered questions. Well, perhaps we could have dinner tonight and discuss it further.
Yes, I would like that. I'll meet you at the pub at, say, 6.
That's great.
Tony and Rachel leave the bar. Sue Lynn approaches Shane.
Hi, Shane. I'm Sue Lynn, personal assistant to Alex Hunter. You did very well settling the crowd so that Alex could speak. Showed great leadership skills.
Well, thank you. I really wanted to hear what Alex had to say, especially in relation to creating more jobs. I've been unemployed for months now, like many of our community, and some jobs would be very welcome here.
There are great possibilities with this project. Perhaps you would like to discuss these possibilities over a drink?
I'd like that very much. Are you free now?
Sure.
Sue Lynn moves to a table while Shane goes to the bar. He returns to Sue Lynn with 2 glasses in his hands.
Now, I'm reliably informed that you don't mind the G&T.
Your information is disarming.
No, just reliable. Shall we sit here or move to the table in the corner?
Oh, here's fine.
Hungry?
No, had a late breakfast that became lunch.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, so, do you and your sister have any questions or concerns about the project?
Yes, you definitely could say that.
Well, of course this project will benefit so many people in your community and in the town in general. Rachel is a strong academic leader and is held in high regard by the community. She has so much respect in the community that if she just hints that all is not well, the whole project could be finished before it starts. That means that you and your mates won't get good, well-paid jobs either.
You have a point. I would like a good job. I've been unemployed far too long. So, what do you want me to do?
Support the project. Talk it up positively to your sister and the community. You know, the jobs and money coming in. And if you do a good job, you will be amazed at the difference this project will make to your community. You showed great leadership skills this morning. I'm sure there will be a managerial position just suited to you. In fact, as a sign of his trust in you, Alex has invited you to attend tomorrow's board meeting at the Pantopia offices. Are you interested? What do you say?
Well, it's certainly something to think about. I think I'd better talk with Rachel.
A great idea.
Think about yourself. There is no okay. You could do so well. We are here to stay.
Now that you can see what I want to do, I can step ahead and see the project through.
Make them all see sense. Everyone could gain
Money and security and wealth and fame.
You have special gifts, leadership as well. Exercise your power and put them in a spell.
Am I strong enough? Time will surely tell. People put their trust in me and I know them well.
I see here a man, strength, vitality, ready now to realize who he might be.
Gosh, Sulin, I've never met anyone like you. You're sexy, cool, and honest.
You just need to realise your strengths and don't let your community miss this opportunity.
But am I strong enough?
I see you're a man who won't be led astray, especially now that there's someone to help you.
You seem to see something good in me. You have really restored my confidence. Can we meet again?
Sure, I'd like that. But I must go now. Don't forget the meeting.
Sulin leaves the pub. Shane is left alone.
Often I have dreamed of a better life. Money I could earn and perhaps a wife. Honor and respect in my community. That's the way that things were always meant to be. Now I have the chance to show just who I am. No more living like an average man. I could be a leader in our ancient mob. I will have the courage now to do the job. Often I have sought the opportunity. All who seek to be the best that they can be. Teachers, doctors, carers, jobs for you and me. grab this chance to live and work successfully. No more begging, no more living on the dole. There's a chance to play a leading role. Poverty and sickness will be in the past. Happy families, health and safety gained at last. Often I have dreamed of a better life. Money I could earn and perhaps a wife. Honor and respect in my community. That's the way that things were always meant to be.
Yes, that's it. It's meant to be. I will help Pantopia, and by helping Pantopia, maybe I can get a job for myself and some of my mates. But what about my sister Rachel? She's not going to be happy with me. I hate the thought of going against her, but I have no choice. What else can I do?
A beautiful, unspoilt area in West Australia is under threat from Pantopia Industries that wants to build a radioactive waste storage facility in the local vicinity. Pantopia's CEO, Alex Hunter, has bribed Norman Watts, the unscrupulous Minister for the Environment, to ensure that his company wins the contract. But the project has the potential to cause dissension in the wider community, especially between Rachel, an environmentalist and strong advocate for Aboriginal land rights, and her unemployed brother, Shane. Shane is already tempted by the prospect of employment offered by Sue Lynn, a member of the Pantopia team. Tony, the one member of the Pantopia team who has reservations about the project, has invited Rachel to dinner, during which he aims to alleviate her concerns about the project, but things don't quite work out as he had planned.
Thank you, Tony. That was very good. Delicious, in fact.
Not more than just the meal. I've thoroughly enjoyed your company.
Actually, Shane wanted me to get you tipsy and discover a few of your office secrets.
Oh, really? Well, thanks for letting me know about that. I could say that Alex has much the same idea. But I really admire your skills and knowledge about the environment. Can I also say that I like you very much?
Cheers. I think you're pretty cool too. But I am concerned about this Pantopia project. Only yesterday I heard on the radio that a country that already stores radioactive waste for Australia is complaining that it has had enough. Can you believe that they have over 500,000 tonnes of our radioactive waste that is seeping into their waterways? The local people are worried that even the fish they catch are contaminated, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Pantopia is a very trustworthy company and would always ensure people's safety is top priority. But that's enough about business for tonight. Tell me more about you.
I'm not very interesting. It was my mother who insisted that I stayed at school, and I was lucky enough to win a scholarship to attend uni. I've always been interested in how plants and animals live, and so it seemed natural to me to take an interest in environmental matters. My support for Aboriginal concerns is really a follow-on from my studies. After all, they are the original custodians of this land. What about you?
Well, I wasn't exactly born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but my family made sure that I never lacked for anything. It's a lovely night. Would you like to dance?
They take to the floor. Tony wraps his arms around Rachel's waist and they slowly dance together.
As the day begins, I will think of you, and your gentle smile warms me through and through.
I feel so confused, happening so soon. First you seem so far away, just like the distant moon.
Complete
take my hand, hold it to your face. Let our new love quickly grow in our embrace.
What is now so clear when I look at you? Seems I've known so long that our love is true.
Rachel, take my hand, hold it to your heart. We can build a life together, none can tear apart.
Only hold me tight, never let me go. Though the road is rough ahead, our love will grow.
It's getting late now and I must go, but I have really enjoyed this evening.
So have I. Let's do it again, soon. Shall I walk you home?
No, that's okay. I prefer to be on my own.
I understand. I too need some time to think. I'm feeling very confused at the moment.
Please think about what I have said regarding the environment and the importance of protecting it.
I promise. Good night, Rachel. I'll pick up the bill.
Thanks, Tony. Good night. Maybe see you tomorrow?
Tony kisses Rachel gently on the cheek and then goes to the checkout point to pay the bill. Rachel lingers at the table. Whilst waiting to pay, Tony considers his situation.
I'm in a quandary, so hard to share. Those whom I work with seem not to care. Rachel has spoken, touches my heart. Honest and true, we can't be apart. I have found true love. I have found true love. I found a partner for life. I know she loves me forevermore. I know that she'll be my wife.
I love this fella, I love this bloke. He is my idol, just like my folk. My heart is pounding when he is near. I am in love, it's very clear.
But I am worried, I am so worried. Pantopia's project, how to refuse. I know that we'll have opposing views. Which one will win and who'll lose? Love will win over all. We'll be together, hearing love's call. That's all that matters in this short life. I'll be her husband,
I'll be his wife.
We have found true love. We have found true love. We'll be together as one. Maybe the end of Pantopia will be our best hope to come.
Tony follows Rachel out of the restaurant. Alex and Sue Lynn arrive at the pub. They are very surprised to see how full the room is. Alex walks over to Norman Watts, who is propping up the bar and, judging by his red face, looked as if he had been doing that for some time.
Afternoon, Minister. Quite the turnout. What's the feeling? Looks like most of the community is here. Are they for Pantopia's plan to build a radioactive waste storage facility or against it?
Hard to tell. There are some who are for the project because it offers them job opportunities. But there seems to be plenty who are against it. And that woman, Rachel McKay, is not here yet.
Alex notices with some concern that Jonathan Dobbs and George Dawkins, with his wife Brenda, all members of the Green Party, are at a table near the front of the bar. He knows they are ready to fight against Pantopia. He watches George push his way through the crowd to get some drinks and sees Brenda wave to her friends, Shane and Jim, sitting at a nearby table. He sees that Shane does not wave back and he looks rather glum. Alex suppresses a wry grin. With such strong support in the room for his sister Rachel, he can guess why Shane is looking downhearted. Alex looks around the rest of the bar and spots two Aboriginal elders, Uncle Joe and Auntie Mary, sitting at a table in the corner. He is not surprised to see them at the meeting, but he did wonder where Rachel was, as she is usually with them.
Not in our backyard, no, not in our backyard. Take the lot back home to rot, just not in our backyard. Not in our backyard, no, not in our backyard. Home you trot with you know what, but not in our backyard. Not in our
George joins Jonathan and Brenda at a table with the drinks.
Cheers, mate, to the Greens.
Cheers, and thanks for bringing me. This is exciting.
Well, this is a golden opportunity to find out what's really going on and, if necessary, speak up against the whole project.
Sure, but won't the community be angry with that? They will miss out on jobs and money.
Maybe in the short term, but when the world realises what is happening to the planet, they will be grateful to us Greens.
I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Cheers, here's to us. Go the Greenies.
Cheers, mate. To the Greens.
Shane and his friend Jim are sitting at a high table at one end of the bar. Shane is looking very down in the mouth. Jim gives his friend a friendly punch on the arm.
Cheer up, mate. It's not the end of the world yet.
Sorry, mate. I'm just a bit worried about how this meeting will go. Especially if my sister Rachel turns up.
Why did you want to get here so early?
Because if we can convince this mob, before my sister gets going, that they stand a better chance of getting money, jobs, schools and hospitals if they support Pantopia.
So you really think all this could happen?
Yeah, we have everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Well, I hope you're right, mate. Anyway, sure shout.
At another table, Uncle Joe and Auntie Mary sit drinking.
What do you think about all this Pantopia stuff?
I heard Rachel speak. She is very much against it.
But what about the possibility of jobs for our mob?
Yeah, there is that. But what about the risks?
You think it could be that risky?
Sure is. Just look at all the countries that are now refusing to take radioactive waste.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think Pantopia could manage this facility without damaging our country?
I think they're all about making money for themselves, the bastards.
Rachel comes in and pauses at Auntie Mary's table to greet her. She asks whether Auntie Mary has seen Shane. Auntie Mary points to Shane standing at the bar. As Rachel walks through the tables to the bar, her friends call out.
All right. Go right.
We don't want your rubbish. Waste dumps should be barred. We don't want your rubbish.
What about jobs?
Better schools.
We don't want your rubbish.
What about my dialysis?
Alex walks over to Shane, who is standing at the bar, waiting for his drinks.
Shane, can't you do something? How can I speak over this rabble?
Shane stands and shouts over the top of the chanting.
Okay, everyone, a bit of shush. Settle down. We all want to hear what Alex Hunter has to say. Listen up, everyone, listen up.
The crowd gradually stops chanting. Alex takes a mic from behind the bar. He taps the microphone to check it's on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pantopia's open meeting, in which we hope to answer...
Keep your rubbish. Keep your rubbish. Keep your rubbish out.
We will try to answer your questions. However, if you won't listen to anything, then we will have to cancel the meeting, and that won't achieve anything, will it? Thank you. We have the State Environmental Minister, Mr. Norman Watts.
Norm steps forward to acknowledge the crowd.
We also have Pantopia staff, Sulin and Tony. I'm sorry, Tony appears to be missing. Where is Tony?
I have no idea. Would you like me to find out?
No, not at the moment. I need you here.
Boo! We don't want your rubbish. Keep our country clean. Boo! We don't want your rubbish. Keep our country clean.
Come on, let them speak, please. Raise your hand when you wish to ask a question.
Several members of the crowd raise their hands with a one-finger salute.
Okay. Who's first?
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. My name is Jonathan Dobbs, and I am a member of the Green Party. I'd like to ask the Minister for the Environment why he was able to decide so quickly that the project would be safe, when most other countries have found the dangers of moving and storing radioactive waste unacceptably dangerous.
Go, Johnny! Greens, greens, greens! Save us, Johnny! Greens, greens, greens!
Mr. Dobbs, I do hope you are not inferring anything underhand has occurred.
That's it, Johnny. Keep 'em honest.
No, of course not. We all know how honest our politicians are.
For your information, we're already shipping hundreds of tons of radioactive material to Malaysia and Indonesia. These countries are becoming overloaded and are objecting to the practice continuing. We simply have to find an ultra-safe place for a radioactive waste storage facility and a company that has the skills and knowledge to build and manage such a facility. Pantopia Industries has a fine reputation in this field. Besides, just think how your lives could be improved if those millions of dollars spent on storing this waste material overseas were redirected to your communities.
Next question, please. Rachel. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Alex, and I am delighted that you have time to listen to me now. Rather than ask a question, I would like to suggest a few things. As you know, I am opposed to the project on moral, cultural, environmental, scientific and common sense grounds.
Oh, thank you. Please, everyone, show a bit of respect. Let the lady speak.
Oh, a real gentleman.
Thank you, Alex. The project seems to already have the go-ahead, but before the details are decided, it is essential that the elders, the caretakers of this land, are happy and properly consulted.
Yeah, you tell them, Rach.
You must assure us that the land will not be harmed in any way, and if there is any damage, inadvertently of course, then immediate action will be taken to put it right.
Rachel!
And I think the best way to do this is to form an advisory council with power and authority to oversee the actions that Pantopia Industries may want to make whilst giving everyone a voice.
And who do you suggest would be on this advisory council?
A Pantopia board member, obviously. I suggest 2 elders from the community. Perhaps Auntie Mary and Uncle Joe will agree to be on the council. Also, I think an impartial scientific expert with nothing to gain or lose from whatever decisions are made should be included, and any other people you may think appropriate.
Go, Rachel.
Go on, Rachel.
We don't want your rubbish.
Waste dump should be barred. We don't want your rubbish. Not in our backyard.
Thank you. Many good ideas there, Rachel. My only concern is that typically, quiet, please. When you have large committees, things tend to slow down.
That's right, typical. He's trying to run away again. He's just making excuses.
Listen up, guys. I agree with most of what Rachel said. Always have. She's my sister. But we must be aware of what this project could mean to our community. Jobs, education, transport, security, and money for houses, hospitals and shops. There is so much to be sorted, but I think we should welcome the project.
Yes, Shane. Thank you for your comment and support. Well, I guess we should now go away and select our committee, as Rachel has suggested. Thank you, everyone. Let's call it a day now, please.
You're not getting off that easily. The Green Party won't let you.
He's not to be trusted.
Leave the guy alone.
Hi, guys. Listen up. Don't waste this important opportunity.
Boo! Traitor.
Sell out.
Listen to the guy.
We must work together. We could have a bright future if we listen to Pantopia.
Work together, join the fight. Jobs and cash will be our right. Work together, join the fight. Jobs and cash will be our right. Work
The crowd begin to playfully push, jostle and shove Norm and Alex.
Oh, that's enough.
We want jobs, we want houses, opportunity. We need money, hospitals and security.
Yeah, Shane.
Go Pantopia.
Pantopia! 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 Pantopia!
Come on, Rachel. Tell them what's what. Give it to them straight, Rach.
Please, everyone, don't be fooled by Pantopia. They are only concerned with money, with power. They don't care about you, me and us.
During the shouting, Tony enters the pub and quietly sits at Auntie Mary's table, acknowledging Auntie Mary and Uncle Joe with a nod. He starts to join in with cheering Rachel, but when he suddenly realises that Alex is at the bar watching him, he quickly gets up and leaves the pub.
Go Rachel, go. Tell him straight, Rachel. Go Rachel, go. Tell him straight, Rachel.
Just a minute. Is that Tony over there?
I don't think so. He said he was unwell. I'm sure he wouldn't dare to go against Pantopia.
Go and find out what Tony's up to. He should be here with us. I don't trust him.
Okay, but don't judge him too harshly yet. He may just be feeling sick. It may not even have been him. I won't be long.
Sue then leaves the pub to find out what Tony is up to.
Come on, Norm. Let's get out of here. I don't think we will achieve anything more by staying.
Alex and Norm leave the pub.
Go, Rachel, we're with you. Save our land and planet too. Tell these crooks to go to hell. We will ring their final bell.
Rachel.
Jobs and houses set us free.
Give us some security. Keep our land and water clean. All these plans are just obscene. We don't want your rubbish. Keep our country clean. We don't want your rubbish. Keep our land pristine.
As the alcohol flows, The two opposing groups get more aggressive towards each other.
Come on, guys, let's go. We're not going to get anywhere today, and I don't want to get in trouble with the law.
The crowd push, shove, and start to leave the pub, grumbling.
What a waste of my time.
He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Shane and Rachel are left alone in the pub.
Come on, sis. Let's go.
Don't come on, sis, me, you idiot. What are you doing? Selling out the community, their culture and their land for a few dollars?
Shut up a minute. These guys know what they are doing.
Yeah, right.
Sure, there are risks to be considered, but they are not going to risk their lives and ours.
It's people living here who will be risking their lives whilst that Pantopia mob are drinking champagne in Perth.
Stop going on. These guys will be bloody careful and could transform this area. There will be lots of money and jobs for people living in this area, including maybe one for me. We could have a real future.
You're talking shit, Shane, and you know it. We have been down that path before. Just look at the testing of the atomic bomb at Maralinga and the terrible mess left in South Australia. Sue Lynn suggested a few ideas to you, did she? Promotion, leadership positions?
Ha! You've just closed your eyes to the whole project. You're the idiot.
What do you think you're doing?
Why don't you come and see?
Who do you think you're fooling?
Everyone else but me.
You've got a hope, don't be a dope. Do some real work, don't be a jerk. Show some respect for family, you and me. What is that woman saying?
Telling me stuff that's true.
What is the trap she's laying?
Money for me and you.
You've made a dash, tempted by cash. You're in the shit, don't be a nit. Think of the deadly danger. Go
to hell!
Shane storms off. Rachel is left alone.
Profit and gain, killing this land. Children are playing on poisonous sand. Rivers run empty, once flowing streams full of dead fish, toxic bad dreams, country and culture soon blown away, family and history their natural way, written in blood, just as before, just as
Rachel leaves the pub, crying.
Hello? Tony? Are you there? Hi, Tony, how are you going? Sorry about just barging in, but you didn't answer.
Oh, hi, Celine. I'm okay, or so-so, you know. Would you like some coffee?
No, thanks, Tony. I've got to get back to the office, but I thought I would just check on you. You missed an important meeting. Where were you? Alex thought he saw you with Rachel?
No, that couldn't have been me. I was here all day.
Well, you were missed, especially by me.
Oh, well, thanks, Celine.
We haven't had that dinner we planned. And I thought if you were a bit flat, we could make it a date.
Thanks, Sulin. I'm a bit tied up at the moment.
Yes, I can imagine. I saw the way you were looking at Rachel the other night. How can you be in love with her?
How can you be in love with her? How can you think it's really right? And are you sure you feel like this almost overnight?
She makes me feel so safe and sound. She sees the man who's really me. She helps me keep my feet both firmly on the ground.
Won't you please wait a little while? Feelings are so often strange. Why not wait just a little while to see if things might change?
I'm sorry that you feel this way. I thought that you'd be glad to see someone who is very kind and really cares for me. No, I can't wait a little while. No, my feelings will not change. I'm sorry that you feel this way. I wonder if you care for me.
Oh, I'm glad if you're genuinely in love with her, and she with you, but Alex is concerned that you may be being swayed quite deliberately by Rachel from your focus. I think that apart from being attractive and intelligent, she's quite devious. Now I've upset you. I'm sorry.
No, you haven't, Sulin. I like you too much, and I know your intentions are good and kind. I'm just a little confused at the moment.
We're still friends?
Of course.
That's all that matters. Look, I've got to get back to the office, so I'll love you and leave you. I'll tell Alex that you're not feeling well and that you'll be back when you feel better.
Thanks, Sulin. I really appreciate it.
Take care. Bye.
Su Lin pretends to leave, but stops just outside the door, listening to Tony.
I just don't know what to do. On one hand, I work for Pantopia. They pay my wages, and Alex has been really good to me. But on the other hand, Rachel's concerns are real. There are potential risks with this project that Alex is not telling the community. And on top of that, I love Rachel, and so I should support her. I think she loves me too, but I stand the chance of losing that love if I continue to back Pantopia's project.
I'm in a quandary, so hard to share. Those whom I work with seem not to care. Rachel has spoken, touches my heart. Honest and truthful, we can't be apart. I have found true love. I have found true love. I found a partner for life. I know she loves me forevermore. I know that she'll be my wife. I have a conscience, know right from wrong, not seeking dollars. I must be strong. I love this woman, she loves me too. I'm in a quandary, what shall I do? We have found true love, we have found true love. We'll be together as one. Maybe the end of Pantopia will be our best hope to come.
That's the answer. I have to tell the community that the risks are real. Maybe that way the community can stop Pantopia's plan. I have to find Rachel and tell her my idea.
Tony rushes out of his apartment. He does not notice Sue Lynn hiding in the shadows. She is on her mobile phone.
Hi, Alex. It's Sue Lynn. You're right. Tony is not to be trusted. Rachel has obviously got to him. I believe they've become an item. Tony's being swayed by her beliefs and will work against our project. I'll keep working on Shane. I'm a little more confident of winning him over. He seems keen on the idea of career prospects and better financial opportunities for the community. See you when I get back to the office.
It is evening, and Rachel is sitting under the shade of a large gum tree on the town's oval. It's the community's favourite gathering place. She is talking to a group of Aboriginal people about the Pantopia project. The conversation does not reflect the peacefulness of the scene. Rachel stands and addresses the group.
You all know Shane has joined the other side. I'm so angry and disappointed in him.
Don't be too hard on the guy. He's been out of work for so long. The prospect of a decent job must be very appealing to him.
But what about the risks? These waddlers don't have a good track record of cleaning up their mess. If an accident should happen, they'll destroy our country.
That's my point exactly, Auntie. Anyway, the Greenies are holding a rally against Pantopia, and I think we should join them. What do you all think?
Yeah, good idea.
Let's go to a rally.
I'll make some
Good. We'll soon see.
Members of the community begin to get up. As they get up, some stumble. To their horror, they watch the tarmac of the road alongside the oval ripple like waves on a beach.
And they think this is a safe place to store dangerous stuff.
Tony and Rachel have enjoyed an intimate meal together and discovered their love for each other. Tony is in a quandary because his feelings for Rachel clash with his role as project manager for Pantopia, the company that has been awarded the contract to build a radioactive storage facility in WA. Alex, CEO of Pantopia, organised a meeting at the local pub to persuade people that the new facility will greatly benefit the community. The crowd exhibited mixed feelings towards what Alec had to say. Those for the project were led by Shane, who desperately wanted a job. Those against the project were led by Rachel. As the alcohol flowed and the tension grew, there was chanting, grumbling and shoving by various factions. The sound of police sirens prevented the riot from breaking out, and most of the crowd left the pub. Shane and Rachel were left alone and had a bitter argument, resulting in Rachel leaving the pub in tears. Rachel holds a meeting with the community members, complaining against Pantopia's project. As she speaks, she feels a strange rumbling under her feet. Meanwhile, Shane is home alone because Rachel is at a meeting with their Noongar friends. Usually he enjoys going to these meetings with his sister, but since they had that big argument about his decision to support Pantopia's project to build a radioactive waste storage facility somewhere nearby, against his sister's wishes, they have not spoken to each other. He is feeling very sad that he has fallen out with his sister, but he knows that, in this case, he is right. There may be an opportunity for him to get a decent job.
Heck! What's happening? The floor is shaking.
Shane remembers the stories his grandfather had told him of the 1968 earthquake at Meckering, how the sky had turned a strange, eerie shade of green, and how the cattle and the horses, lathered in sweat, ran about wildly in their paddocks. Shane quickly turns on the radio to find out what was happening.
We interrupt our usual programme to bring you an update on the news of a 6.6 earthquake that has just occurred along the same fault line as the Meckering earthquake in 1968. Please do not be alarmed. Whilst this is a dramatic event, appropriate emergency services and personnel are monitoring the scene, and so far there have been no reports of deaths or injuries. Further breaking news has just come in. Following the news of the earthquake, the Minister for the Environment, Norman Watts, has faced serious criticism both in Parliament and the media regarding his insistence that Western Australia can safely store radioactive waste. His support for this position has been widely condemned by several MPs, leading environmentalist activist Rachel Mackay and scientists from several universities. Interestingly, it has also been reported that the Minister for Environment, Mr. Norman Watts, may have, allegedly of course, been involved in a bribing scandal associated with the award of the contract for the establishment of a facility to store radioactive waste in Western Australia. This contract has recently been awarded to Pantopia Industries. We will keep you in touch with further developments. In the meantime, we will return to our usual programmes.
Bloody hell. This is not good news for Pantopia. I hope Sue Lynn is okay, and I wonder if Alex knows about the earthquake. I'd better check that everyone's okay and that Alex has heard the news.
At Pantopia's office, Alex is working on plans to develop the radioactive storage facility, totally unaware of the unfolding events. Sue Lynn is looking over his shoulder, watching admiringly what he is writing.
Tony, so pleased you could come. How are you feeling?
Oh, quite a bit better, thanks. Nothing serious.
Good. It's essential we get things sorted as soon as possible. Does Shane know about this meeting? Have you heard from him recently?
I told him last night. He said he was coming.
Well, I'll give him 2 minutes and then we must start. Tony, I thought I saw you at the pub yesterday.
No, in bed all day.
On your own?
Well, it certainly wasn't with me.
Sorry, that remark was in bad taste. I'm just getting frustrated with lack of time and idiotic committees. It's pitiful and slows down the whole project. Anyway, we'd better make a start. Let's first clarify what the whole project is about. We're in business of making money. All agreed?
Yes, I agree.
That's about right.
1, we're doing the world a favour by storing radioactive waste safely. 2, with coal-fired power stations being forced to close and the movement towards alternative energy sources, including nuclear, there will be a greater demand for our services. And 3, we're a great team, but we need to remain focused, positive and determined. Together, we can succeed. All agree so far?
Yeah.
I know I'm a grumpy old bastard at times and I apologise, but I just want us to be successful and, contrary to what others may think, I want the community to also grow and succeed. So, Tony, if you have any information from Rachel, please pass it on to Sue Lynn.
Have you heard the news?
No, what happened?
There's been an earthquake.
Where?
Just where you were planning to locate the storage facility.
Bloody hell.
Are many hurt? Is it still going? Don't know, just heard it on the radio. It's a total disaster.
Yes, OK, Shane, we get the picture. No reason to panic. The trouble is, it will remind people of the dangers of underground waste storage. We may have to just ride this one out. Sue Lynn, can you see who that is?
Ah, Mr. Dobbs, isn't it?
Yes, well remembered. I hope I'm not interrupting anything serious.
Yes and no, but come in.
Just wondering whether you had heard the news.
The earthquake? Yes. Shane's just told me. Terrible news.
Thought you might want to hear a few details. The earthquake was on par with the largest recorded in Australia and has made people worried about the safety of radioactive waste storage.
Is there any good news?
No deaths yet. Earthquakes are fairly rare in Australia. But this fault line is one to be avoided. So this happening before you guys started working in the area is, I think, not a disaster, but a serious call to double check what you are planning. Parliament has just been recalled, so I have to go. But before I go...
Yes?
Do you realise that our Ministry for the Environment is being accused of fraud and bribery? I don't know any details, but I'm just warning you that embarrassing questions involving your company may be asked in the House. Anyway, I'm off.
I think we should all go to Parliament and find out what's happening.
That's a good idea. Come on, guys.
Tony walks silently behind them. Parliament has been recalled for an emergency meeting to discuss the implications following the earthquake. There is panic amongst members who shout questions across the floor.
How many people
What's the damage to local services?
How did Pantopia Industries get this project so quickly?
What's the tender process?
Order! The Minister for the Environment has the call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Taking the earthquake into consideration, the problem of how and where to store radioactive material still exists.
The member for Mandurah has the call.
I take the Minister for the Environment's point very seriously. There are tons of radioactive waste in Australia, and we do need to store it safely. And yes, remote places are obviously better suited for storage than towns and cities. However, given the recent earthquake, it is essential that Pantopia's plan to store radioactive waste in Western Australia is now cancelled forever.
Member for Fremantle, Mr. Dobbs, you have the call.
If I may, Mr. Speaker, make it quite clear to the House, this could be a world-changing moment. It makes sense to agree, whatever one's political persuasion or motivation, that although nuclear energy is efficient, the problems of radioactive waste storage are enormous. Morally, we don't have the right to burden future generations with this problem, especially knowing what we now know, that the area under consideration is unstable and subject to earthquakes.
The Minister for the Environment has the call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All I am trying to do is make people aware of the obvious. 1. With the growth of nuclear power, there are vast amounts of radioactive material already in the world. 2. We need to store it safely. 3. No one could foresee this earthquake, and the well-respected Pantopia Industries has offered to help us store this waste material safely in Western Australia, to the financial benefit of all West Australians.
The member for Fremantle, Mr. Dobbs, you have the call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the Minister for the Environment please show the House the safety record of Pantopia's recent operations? Oh, and a new question. Is there any truth in the accusations made in the media today that the Minister for the Environment was seen accepting bribes from Pantopia's CEO, Mr. Alex Hunter?
Order! 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 The Minister for the Environment may answer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is absolutely preposterous and outrageous. I am completely innocent and a victim of fake news and set up by the greenies. You will be hearing from my lawyer shortly. I've never been so insulted in my life.
Order! Order! I declare the debate regarding the future of a radioactive waste storage facility in WA is terminated, pending further inquiries into this matter. Parliament is now adjourned.
It is later in the evening and there is chaos on the streets. Groups of people are carrying banners and placards in support or against Pantopia. The march starts off peacefully, but as people become angrier and more frustrated, violent scuffles have broken out. Shane and Rachel, with some of their followers, meet up. They are relieved to see each other.
Thank goodness I found you, Rach. This crowd is turning really nasty, and I was really worried about you.
I'm okay, thanks, Shane. I just wanted to come on this rally to protect our environment. I know you want a job, but protection of the environment is equally important.
I know your feelings about the environment. I'm really sorry that I appear to be going against you. I think if we work together, maybe we could both get what we wanted.
Maybe.
Oh no, look over there. That mob's from out of town. They're just out to cause trouble.
I know, Shane. This wasn't meant to happen. It was supposed to be a peaceful demonstration.
Some people obviously didn't get that message. The bloody hooligans, they're wrecking the place.
Look, Shane, over there. Isn't that Auntie Mary? She shouldn't be out here. She'll get hurt. I've got to go to her.
Rachel drops the placard she was holding and runs across the road towards where Auntie Mary was last seen.
Rachel, come back. You'll get hurt. That mob are just thugs. Come back. It's too dangerous.
Shane stops to pick up the placard and runs after her, but loses sight of her in the crowd. Alex is sitting at his desk in Pantopia's office, working on some papers, trying to ignore what is going on outside.
Hi, Sue-Lyn. Sounds like hell out there. You okay?
Only just. Had to push my way through crowds of people.
Well, I appreciate you coming.
And the noise. It's just getting louder and louder. So, is Pantopia finished?
What? No, of course not.
But
It takes more than an earthquake and a corrupt MP to stop us.
do you know you are quite amazing?
Thank you. Governments may come and go, but sound business people like us are here to stay. Whatever the outcome this time, Pantopia will be back. White wine?
No, I think I need something a little stronger. I'll join you in a brandy, please. Will we be safe here?
Oh, the crowd don't want us. They want Norm, our Minister for the Environment. You remember Norm? N-O-R-M. Get it? Naturally occurring radioactive material.
Yes, I remember.
Cheers to Pantopia.
To us. Hi, Tony. You okay? It's a bit rough out there.
Sure is. It's chaos out there.
Worse than last time?
Oh, 10 times worse. Last time there were distinct groups. 4 or against Pantopia. Now there are several random angry groups. Angry about nuclear waste, angry about the minister, the police, the Greens, us. Just one big angry mess.
I'm scared, Alex. I think we should go somewhere else.
You may be right.
Go away! Let this bloody earthquake help you on your way. Keep your filthy rubbish, you really are obscene. Go eat your filthy rubbish, our sacred land is clean.
A lot of this is your fault.
Why? What do you mean?
You weren't one of the team. I did try to keep you on side.
Oh yes, and you're the innocent one here. You always said that we had to win at all costs, that we had to make money.
Are you naive or just plain bloody stupid?
Well, maybe I am naive, but you're corrupt and immoral. So what was the story about Norm? I heard talk of bribery. Know anything about that?
Oh, go to hell.
Tony, Rachel's been hurt. I called an ambulance, but they can't get through the crowds. So I told them to bring her here. I knew it would turn nasty.
Oh God, what's happened?
I lost her in the crowd. She went looking for Auntie Mary. A mob came from out of town, were getting really angry and started throwing everything they could get their hands on. I think Rachel was hit, fell over and bashed her head. Tony, I tried to keep her safe, but I couldn't. The crowds were too angry.
Put her here. Careful now.
Tony gently places Rachel on Alex's desk and continues to hold her in his arms.
Oh, Rachel. What's happened to you? I love you, Rachel. I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, Rachel, stay with me. Help is on its way.
Stop them, Tony. Please, stop.
With those words, Rachel breathes her last breath.
Rachel. Rachel. Oh, don't leave me. I need you.
Oh, Rach. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to go against you.
Sue Lynn walks over to Shane and leads him away, leaving Tony to grieve alone.
Oh, my heart is aching, I can feel it breaking. Why you have to leave me when I loved you so? Love will never find me, darkness all around me. When we found each other, why are we apart? Things I know for certain now, Pantopia's final curtain bow. I will ne'er cease working till they are gone for good, and how? Let us join together all, see Pantopia's final fall. Rachel wins despite the pain, we'll never let her die in vain.
Tony collapses over Rachel's body.
Have you heard what's happened to Rachel?
How could this happen?
Will she be all right?
How awful!
As news of Rachel's death filters through to the community outside, people who are lobbying against Pantopia's project start to slowly walk into Pantopia's office, many still carrying their protest placards. They respectfully stand as a group to one side of Rachel and Tony, heads bowed and silent. They are joined by members of the community who supported Pantopia's plans, led by Shane holding hands with Sue Lynn. With the death of such a well-respected person as Rachel, all community differences are put aside in the swelling of communal grief, with one exception.
With the sad and tragic death of Rachel, those of you who are against the Pantopia project may think you have won. But let me assure you, you have not won. Pantopia will be back. Yes, Pantopia will be back.
That was Not in Our Backyard, written by Christopher Harlow with music composed by James Perkins. Acted by Tommy Barry, Charlie Baker, Peter Rogers, Peter Bonner, Asher Perry, Keith Perry, Tom Rees, Franklin Nannup, Mary Inditch, Sebastian Berry, Melody Kevin, John Kevin and Christopher Harlow. The supporting cast of rabble-rousing rioters and protesting politicians was played by Kerry Harvey, Ray Hines, Sonia Fenton, Mary Wright, Ken Purnell, Deb Harlow and Claire Perkins. The music was played by Classic Sounds Orchestra, led by Rachel John. Sound recording by Ian Rumbell, sound editing by Peter Granderson and Phil Bailey from Shanghai Twang Studio.
The Backyard team is also grateful to the Bendigo Bank Hall's Head, Mandurah Mayday Charity Shop, Mandurah City Council and the WA Department for Cultural Industries.
Finally, a special thank you to family and friends whose loving support has made this production possible.